What up guys, Justice here. Today's video is going to be around high-tiered PvM boss trips and what bosses are more worth it than others. So this is quite a highly requested video from a few of my subscribers, and hopefully any of you who aren't subscribed to me yet will appreciate this video and find it helpful and also useful to make an informed decision on what bosses to actually fight in order to make the most money. But again, I do boss for fun more than money, but I have worked out on various different boss trips what the GP is per hour on average. So this will be very helpful for you guys who do want to find out how to make money against high-tiered bosses, and are certain bosses actually really worth it. So to begin, as you can see, I'm actually just looting from a Vorago 5-hour trip, and the loot adds up to 20.2 million GP, and that is a 5-hour trip, so that averages out to around 4 million GP per hour at Vorago, and that's purely from energies and random loot drops. If you do want to get more drops, by the way, if your team only keeps energies, then I recommend to base tank potentially. You do get quite a few drops from that. Or of course, if you've got Seismic and you want to max DPS, you can win the different drops on that. So this video is going to show different footage from different high-tiered bosses. QBD isn't necessarily high-tiered. However, you know, if you are a high-level PvM maxed combat, you can get extremely good money from this. But I'm just going to go into this in a minute. I'm just going to concentrate more on Vorago whilst this footage is playing, in terms of a bit of information of, is Vorago actually worth it? And this is one of the questions from a subscriber of mine. I'll put the comment on the screen. I'm sure I will in the future once I've edited this video. But Vorago, Mod Chris confirmed about 3 weeks ago after Vorago came out that the drop rate of Seismic and Singularity was the same or as similar, close to, as Nex drops. Now, whether that's changed over the time Vorago's been out, I don't know, but I highly doubt it. They are rare, but they're not exactly very rare. They're a rare item, just like Nex items are rare when you go Nex. However, it does depend on luck, and if you go Vorago for a long amount of time, you probably are going to get a Seismic or a Singularity drop. And again, what you've got to take into consideration is that Nex kills are a lot quicker than Vorago kills. You could technically, in a Nex team, let's say a duo or trio, gain 3 to 4 kills, or at least 3 kills before you've even got one Vorago kill. So that puts it into context. The drop rate is for how many kills you get, not the time you're there, okay? So the drop rate is similar to Nex drop rate in terms of how many kills you're getting per drop. So you're going to get a Nex drop a lot quicker than you are going to get a Vorago drop. So just to put that into context there. But personally, from my experience and also clanmates' experiences, it just can't be that it can't be that high, the drop rate. I mean, it really does depend on luck for Vorago. For example, my friends were dry for 100 kills, and then I accompanied them over a full weekend of Vorago, kills gaining around 32 to 50 kills over the weekend or something. We literally no-lifed it, and we got 2 Seismic 1 drops across the 2 days, and you'd be able to check one of those videos out. I'll put it in the description below, or annotation at the end. But they were around 130 to 150 kills dry, but then if you divide that across 2 1 drops, that's 1 in 75 drop rate, which, to be honest, for a wonder or an orb drop, you know, ain't too bad considering you do get a very large split. It was around 350 mil each for a 6-7 man team, so you can imagine the money making there. This video does not contain Nex, because personally I don't go Nex a lot. I don't think it has much consistency there. It really is dependent on luck. There's no like consistent moneymaker there unless you get like Onyx bolts all the time, but then again, it's not consistency, is it? It's just luck. So with Vorago, without rare drops, it is a consistent moneymaker. So let's compare it against other PvM consistent moneymakers rather than ones which are just dependent on luck. So QBD, this footage is from a video which I made quite a long time ago now, about a month ago when I literally first started the channel, about a month ago, and I was comparing Drygores against different weapons. And QBD is a very consistent moneymaker. You're looking at around 3 to 4 mil per hour, and I used to do it a lot. And also you can solo, which is a very big pro, a positive to this boss. However, it is repetitive. There's no chance of a super rare drop, such as like a 300 mil plus split, which you can get at Vorago. And it depends on how much time you actually have to play the game. Is it actually worth spending hours and hours there just to get 3 to 4 mil per hour, when you can actually, if you're good enough and you've got a team of friends together, you can go Vorago and get 4 mil per hour there, very similar to QBD just from the energy splits, and then you've got a chance of actually getting a 300 mil plus split from Vorago's rare drop of a Seismic wand. I mean, you've got to weigh up your terms there, but personally, again, Vorago is more worth it. And that is pure evidence for you guys there for you. However, if you can't find a team for Vorago, or you just want to chill out, then QBD is very good for money making, 3 to 4 mil per hour. Okay, so on to Barrows. This is Barrows hard mode, Rise of the 6, which came out a couple of weeks ago. Probably 3 weeks ago now, I'm not sure, it's gone that quick. But if you watch my recent video, looting our first shield, I had worked out with an average team gaining 6 kills an hour, so that's an average team. We were getting around 8 to 10 kills an hour when we got consistently into it. But an average team, let's say you get 6 kills an hour, that's 1 every 10 minutes. Should be easily doable. It allows you to fail 1 or 2 as well. And on average, each player will obtain around 10 mil each. At the time of making that video, where energies were 1.5 mil each, they're actually now a lot lower than that. I think they're about 1 mil now or just under. So you're looking at around 7 energies per player on average per hour. Obviously the energies vary and it depends on whether you can get out the tunnel. But around 7 mil each, let's say 6 to 7 mil each per hour now due to the energy prices. That's also including random loot which you get. You do get quite a few different rune plate bodies, for example, battle staves, you know, Snape dragon seeds, dwarf weed. You know, you do get a few different extra loot which does add up. So Barrows hard mode, I'd say, as a consistent moneymaker, it still is one of the best out there at the moment in terms of a consistent moneymaker per hour, and that's without shields. Shields are very cheap at the moment, between 40 and 70 mil, I think. So if you do get a shield, it is a nice extra split there for you guys, which does obviously make your money per hour even better. You do have to be very lucky though. I've been very unlucky and only had 1 shield there after I've made around 180 mil from energies. Yeah, I've only had 1 shield, so quite unlucky there. But again, it's just, as a consistent moneymaker, I'd highly recommend trying out Rise of the 6 Barrows hard mode. Check out my guides, it'll show you exactly what you need to do in order to get successful kills. Okay, so on to the Kalphite King. The KK is an absolutely terrible moneymaker. It used to be very good when it was first released. Probably the first 2 or 3 months of release it was extremely good. But to be honest, it's just dead content for high-tiered PvM money making. However, it's not dead content for the fun of it. Ever since it was buffed, a lot of high-tiered PvMers stopped going there because they just got annoyed with the buff. I was included as well. And to be honest, I just go to whatever I enjoy. And since the buff, I really don't enjoy it. So I just go to Vorago and Barrows, as you'll see on my videos mostly. However, if you are a mid-tiered PvMer, then it probably is a very good alternative as a high-level boss fight for you. It can be good fun as well if you go with different people. My friend Jacko1 does various challenges there, as you can see in this footage. He does it with no void, he tanks no void without using any food, which is really good. And I actually go through a full KK tanking guide for anyone out there who's interested on my channel. I'll put that in the description probably, or just check out my channel page and you'll see it there. So yeah, KK can be quite fun, but I'm not going to go into too much depth. I don't even know what the money making is per hour. All I know is that it's terrible. If you get a Drygore, fair enough, but the drop rate is like 1 in 50 kills or something, or quite high. So again, it's all about luck again, that boss. So again, I'm not going to take it into consideration. I cannot compare it against Barrows or QBD or Vorago at the moment because you just can't compare it. There's not a consistent moneymaker. Ascension dungeon bosses, the Legionnaires. I'm not going to go into too much again about these, but when the Ascension dungeon came out, you could kill, I think, 6 bosses, I think there are, and you can get a different piece of the Ascension crossbows from each to actually make the Ascension crossbows. I've never been there myself because I'm not much of a ranger. However, I will have to check that out at some point. However, from good sources from my clan mates, this takes a lot of time and you need to invest millions on the actual keys to get access to the bosses. You have a risk of actually losing money, but if you're lucky, you can make 70 to 100 mil plus, especially at the moment, as Ascension crossbow is potentially going to rise in price, as there are hints of a range buff, where range is potentially going to get buffed. I think it's actually the abilities specifically which are going to get buffed, which will increase your DPS. But yeah, where people soon realise that these level 90 tiered weaponry will come in very handy, then I think they will rise in price. They are extremely useful as well at Barrows Rise of the 6. But I'm not going to go into too much depth. This is not a consistent moneymaker, guys. This is pure luck. You can actually lose a lot of money on this. I've got a couple of mates who did actually lose 70 to 100 mil rather than actually making it. So not a consistent moneymaker. I'm just going to now wrap up the different boss fights, the different boss trips which I've gone through, and what GP per hour you can actually get, and are they actually worth it? Okay, so to wrap it up with the GP per hour for different boss fights, and this is again assuming that you've got high tiered gear, as you can see here, for example base tanking at Vorago, Torva, Drygores, you've got a team with different seismics in, maybe Verdis, Ascension crossbows, you know. So this is assuming that you're a high tier PvMer. This is the money making approximately you're going to be getting per hour. For those who are just interested in what you could be getting soon, if you're training up to get this gear, or training up your different levels to actually be able to equip this gear, then this is the sort of money making these sort of guys are making. So for a Vorago trip, you're making around, for a 5-hour trip, it's like 20 million GP, approximately 16 kills, so around 4 mil GP per hour at Vorago, purely just off the energies, without any seismic 1 drops. If you get a seismic 1 drop, it's about 300 mil plus split each in the team. So there you go, that's Vorago for you. QBD, 3 to 4 mil per hour, again with decent gear. You know, you could probably make 3 mil per hour with rapiers, chaotic rapiers, to be honest. But again, with Drygores, it's definitely, at least it's around 3 to 4 mil per hour. Vorago is better than that. Barrows hard mode, you're looking at around, let's say, on 6 kills an hour. Due to the energy prices going down now, it's around 7 to 8 mil per hour each in that team. So again, probably one of the best consistent money makers at this moment in time. But again, Vorago, you know, if you want that luck, if you do get lucky, you're going to get a huge amount of money. So my personal preference at the moment would probably be Vorago, due to me just not being lucky with the shield drops at Barrows, and also because the energies are just constantly going down at Barrows. Eventually, you know, it will probably be around 4 mil per hour like Vorago. So those are the 3 main high-tiered boss fights which I've gone through on this video. They're the 3 probably main consistent money makers out there in my opinion, or the ones which I personally go to. So if there's others, feel free to write those in the comment section below and I might be able to check those out. But at the moment, I personally, it's between Vorago, QBD and Barrows hard mode. I did mention a little bit about KK and the Ascension Legiones dungeon bosses. However, again, I don't feel like that's consistent money making, so I'm not going to add that in, as well as Nex. That's pure luck in my opinion. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I strongly recommend you to learn Vorago. Check out my guides if you don't know how to Vorago. Get some mates together and go there, because it's a very good consistent money maker. Again, I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully another PvM video or so. Look out for Godwar's Dungeon Hard Mode, Saradomin and Armadillo uploading soon. So look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video. See you guys. Bye.
Take me away.